welcome back to another episode of MTD CNC North America. I'm with my good buddy Dave. He's starting to become a famous person here with MTD, and we are at DRG here outside of Chicago, Illinois, and we are looking at one badass cell setup here with a bunch of NACs. Now Dave, you have about 10 NACs, but you have a 3-cell setup of these Nakamura's here that are really just non-stop 24 hours. Fairly new process, but absolutely incredible. Could you share with our global audience about what's going on?
So, before we built this cell, we went to Unisig and we bought a gun drill. We bought a reamer. We bought a rifler. We started building our blanks and learning the black arts of gun barrel manufacturing, okay? So we went through and perfected our blanks for about a year, and we were selling blanks. During that year, we were building this cell. So we have 2 Nakamura WT250s. They run into an AS200 for chambering and reaming. So the 2 big machines profile, run, and everything else and dump into a barrel. The robot behind us that runs around and runs the whole thing runs 24/7, about 6 days a week right now. We're working on the 7th, right? He gets a day off. So we never made a barrel the old-fashioned way. We never bought a machine. We never put a guy in front of it on centers and started hacking away and moving away and playing with barrels. We build automated cells here at DRG. We pick a problem, we pick a part in the gun industry that everybody always seems to have trouble getting and manufacturing, and we build a custom automated cell to do it. So if you'll notice throughout this video, old boy's running pretty good, right? He's moving. So he's tending 3 machines, 3 regrip stations, 2 blow-offs, an in-feed and an out-feed. So when it's at pace, he doesn't stop.
Right.
So the operator now gets the time to check parts, fill coolant, check on quality, do all the things without running around like a crazy man and loading machines and doing all that kind of stuff. So every 2 minutes, a barrel comes out, ready for coating, complete.
I am absolutely impressed. I love talking to you about these types of things, Dave, and the reason I like it is because of what you just said, as in, I never made a gun barrel the old-fashioned way or the way that a lot of people are doing it. We build cells. And when I hear that and I look around, it's not just your words. You were putting that to make it fact. You were making it, you know, one of the most productive plants I've seen. You're talking about every 2 minutes something comes off here. The last machine I was looking at, it was every 40-some seconds. You know, what you're saying, you're putting down instead of just, oh, well, I think it's probably a good idea. Watching this move, man, DRG is just so much fun to be a part of.
So it runs about 15,000 barrels a month, right? So we're building every cell around the 10 to 15,000 range. We made a little mistake on the bolt cell, and you know, we produce about 45,000 bolt carrier groups a month. So in-house, that kind of ways with awesome partners. It's awesome. But the staff is happy. The staff has loved learning the robotic side of it. The staff is happy that they don't have to stand in front of a machine and every 30 seconds or 40 seconds or 2 minutes, just change a part out and keep going. We're able to run 5 automated cells with 3 people.
Wow.
So we're able to compete globally. We're able to do our CPKs and run our, you know, KPIs and everything else to where we get very little scrap. We do in-process checking and everything else. So when we went to build this cell with Methods, at the great partnership we've had with them, we laid out how we wanted to do a barrel. So we started with a blank, and then we started with the barrels that we wanted to do. And we wanted flexibility, you know. I need to be able to run 7.5-inch barrels all the way up to 20-inch barrels, even though 80% of what we run is a 16-inch barrel. I need the flexibility in the cell. So we found out, we looked at the ways to buy the machines so I have no setup time. I go to an HMI, I pick a program, robot talks to all the machines. They all go to their positions they need to be, and the robot will tell it, I'm bringing a 7.5-inch barrel, I'm bringing a 10.5-inch barrel, I'm bringing a 16-inch barrel, and the cell changes on the fly.
Wow.
We don't have to readjust hard stops. We don't have to move steady rests. We don't have to do those type of things that the old-fashioned way has to do every day, where they lose half a day or 2 hours or a day to do a changeover. We change over the cell in 35 minutes.
35 minutes is amazing, and I don't want to give away all your secrets, but there's like special ways that you're doing, burnishing, and you got auto comp from Karen Engineering, which really helps, keep these machines running. So I know there's a lot of old school thinkers out there that go, well, what about when a tool gets, how can you make this, because we know some of these parts are incredibly precise. They demand that type of precision and that whole precision where you cannot be off, right?
Correct.
Well, how do you implement a cell that's able to run with 1 day off? Thank you for giving the robot one day off. But 24 hours a day, how are you able to do that without, messing up parts or people, you set up a system that really works.
So we run the tool life. Our operators and our cell leads, we set a tool life together. We figure out how long it holds tolerances. And the knocks hold tolerances, right? You put a chiller on an oil machine, you do this, you do that, you build the process, and the knocks hold tenths. So on one of our features, we hold 5/10 religiously on our gas block diameter. So we cheat a little bit, right? We auto comp, we in-process probe, we burnish with a steady rest, which you're not supposed to be able to do. We want that surface finish, and we want that perfection on the gas block diameter so that you don't have egginess, you don't have out of round, you don't have things that you shouldn't normally have on a lathe. But now, 8 hours unattended overnight, you can't make bad parts, right?
Right.
So how do you build your process? How do you build your theory? And how do you build your cell knowing that you're going to run it unattended? And once you can wrap your head around that, which is a new concept in manufacturing in the U.S. Our concept before in the U.S. has always been throw a person in front of it, check it with calipers, make an offset. Well, you're not here. So what technology and what advancements and what tools at your disposal do you have to do? So auto comp from Karen, being able to in-process probe. You give up a little bit of cycle time, but I get 8 hours a night of unattended runtime without a bad part. Redundant tooling, all the things that people talk about but haven't really implemented in their shops.
Yeah.
A normal vertical machining center putting in a double vise versus a single vise. It's like, oh my God, I get twice as many parts up. Now we're taking it to the extreme, right? We're bowl feeding in parts. We're conveying out parts. We're figuring out how the cells and the engine and the technology has to be able to run 70 hours a week unattended.
Now I want to ask you a question, just based on everything you said, and I want you to know, A, I'm 100% with you, and B, there's a lot of old school thinkers out there that go, man, I'm just still nervous about that. And I know that your dad wasn't in this industry, my dad wasn't either, we both kind of came up being creative thinkers. Was there any kind of courage that was needed to say, well, I know that I need to do it this way, but is my theory really gonna work? Did you feel like that was a brave step, or did you just know it has to be this way? Because like I said, there's some people out there right now going, man, I just don't know. I just don't know if I'm ready to make that step.
So the scariest step is the first robot, right? The first industrial robot. Now I gotta learn FANUC programming. I gotta learn how to recover him. I gotta learn how to get him out of the machine and back to home. I gotta learn how to communicate and work with this industrial robot. Our 60-year-old guy, John, who's Polish and off the boat and loves everything. I got a great video or picture from like 5 years ago of him shaking hands with the robot. And he had to learn how to play with him and work with him and everything. And he's 60 years old. He's never played with a robot before. And we take the time, and you're gonna crash a robot. You're gonna, learn some things. Methods has been phenomenal in getting us over that hump. The help they've given us, the training they've given us, the retraining they've given us, the on-site support to make sure that the custom automated built cells run. We build automotive grade cells for the firearms industry.
Wow.
And we're the first ones to do it, right?
Right.
Some people are like, oh, I got a robot, it picks us up, it deburrs this, we're cool, right? They're playing with cobots, they're learning. We never bought a cobot. We fenced everything, we industrialized everything, and it's been phenomenal with us. We've grown 100 to 300% a year every year since we started the company.
That is so incredibly impressive. And you're right, first robot I had, it was stirring coffee. That's what I got it to do, was stir coffee before we started getting it to do other things. You mentioned the first robot is the scariest, so guys remember that. You get past that first robot, automation becomes a bit easier and a bit easier. You mentioned training and retraining, so it's nice to have a good partner as well. But how many automated cells and how many robots do you have now?
We're at 5 automated cells. We're building the 6th right now. And I think we have 7 or 8 robots in-house now.
Yeah.
Where the guys, you know, everyone's always worried, oh, the guys are gonna be pissed if I bring a robot in. The guys are extremely happy to not have to do the mundane tasks. And we get to train them for the future. We're building the next generation. I'm 35 years old. There's no reason I should own a machine shop. I'm the wrong generation. We skipped it. We didn't even have woodworking or tech schools. But being able to sit around and learn and play with CNC machines and see what can be done on them, and being able to take that block of material and pull a part out of it every day is incredible.
Isn't that fun?
It's amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
The ability to just, you know, in the Amazon age of instant gratification, we machine a part, you get your gratification. It's in tolerance, it's in spec, it's got its grind stock we need, its TIR is good. You know, you get your instant gratification every time you make a phenomenal part.
Yeah. So guys, Dave, 35 years young, as he mentioned, no business owning a machine shop, and yet I'm looking around, I see automation everywhere, I see a global leader in what you're making. Dave, keep inspiring those of us around us to do better, and the way that you convey that message of I absolutely love it, thank you for sharing that as well, because we need more people just like you.
So our average staff age is probably 32.
And knowing what we know about this industry and with the aging out process going on, that in itself is a testimonial. We could probably talk another 10 minutes just about the average age being 32.
Walk into a tool and die shop right now. Average age is 65. So what are we doing? How are we training the next generation? How are we getting these guys to understand that they can go to trade schools, they can take apprenticeships, they can learn manufacturing, and we can compete globally?
Well, if I'm a young man right now and I'm watching this video, I'm very curious. Are you hiring?
We are hiring.
Always, right?
We're
Always
hiring.
looking for good people.
We hire on personality, we hire on, you know, drive, we hire on the ability that you want to learn and teach. And we'll teach you the industry, we'll start you in tumbling, we'll put you on a saw, and over 3-4 years, we'll get you through and you'll be running an automated cell.
Yes. And let me just excuse myself 1 second in saying, not just a young man, but a young woman as well, because we need more of you ladies in the industry also.
For sure.
So young women, young men, if I'm one of those, I see what's going on here, I'm listening to your story, I go, man, I got to turn in my resume and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Cool. Dave, thank you so much for sharing this Nakamura story, this Fanuc robot cell. You're doing amazing work. Thank you so much for sharing it with MTD and the world. You keep on doing good things, and we'll keep on coming by and talking with you.
Yeah, obviously when we get the other machine cells on and we do the other stuff, we'll have you back, and we'll show you the craziness that we've been doing.
So stay tuned for that too, guys. We got more coming.